My name is Zig Rubel, and I'm a board member for the Center for Innovation. I'm here today with Stuart Eckblad, fellow board member and president for the Center for Innovation. I've known Stuart as an owner for the last 25 years, and Stuart has been an owner on the capital project side for the last 4 decades. Stuart, you've been working as an owner for most of your career. How would you define innovation?
Thank you, Zig. Other than a buzzword, which is getting to be pretty popular right about now, the idea for me of what innovation is, or how I might define it in my role in terms of capital programs, is how do we find the best answer to a problem? And so what that means is, for example, if we're thinking about what does an owner really want and I'm in the healthcare side. So what's an owner really looking for? In terms of innovation, they're looking for how best to solve a problem. So for example, in the old days, it was you get your choice of two. You get schedule, you get budget, you get scope, but you only get 2 out of 3. For me, innovation is getting all 3. And what do you have to do in a project to get all 3? That's the challenge. And so that takes a lot of different disciplines to answer that question. So for me, it's not just one thing. It's not the newest toy. It's a way to think. It's a way to look at a problem and say, are we doing the best we can? Is there another way to do this that actually gives us a better result? That's how I would look at it.
So with your definition, which I agree with, can you give an example of a project that you've worked on that was innovative and why that was the case?
Thank you, Zach. That's a great question. In terms of, there's really a lot of examples, I'm sure, not just for me, but for many owners and certainly the industry. And this is a great question for all of the different disciplines that are involved in capital programs. But so an example might be, for example, when we did Mission Bay Hospital, it was really around project delivery. And at that time, with the UC system, they weren't used to the idea of an integrated approach. And so I think an example there was that we had, as you also participated in that project and you know very well, that our challenge there was, so how do we, for the first time in UC system, how do we get all these different disciplines to actually work together in simpler terms? How do we get the contractors to be architects, and how do we get the architects to be contractors? Which really means, how do we get them to work together in a true and integrated form to find, again, back to that definition, what is the best solution? What's best for the patient? What's best for the project? What's best for the firm? And in that, we created, I think, several new ideas about how to make decisions as a group, and how to work as a team, and how to build a culture. So, but one of the things that it's already been written about a lot is what we call the Project Solutions Group, PSG. And that was a real innovative way to bring people together on a daily basis to answer questions and give direction immediately. And the key to that was also to separate the costs so we could give direction. And then later, those that had investment in the cost could have a separate conversation. And that led to, and in fact, it's still used in the industry as a way to give direction quickly and keep the project or keeping the conversation around cost out of the direction so that the right people could then negotiate how in fact it gets covered. So I think that was a significant innovation. There's all the many other innovations in how we did the mechanical systems, electrical systems, and all those things are very important. And there's just huge innovations in the industry about that now, in terms of racks and other things. But the innovation I'm suggesting is one of our process.
Innovation can be about risk or failure. How do you think about the desire for innovation with the possibility of not achieving the desired outcome that you want?
Well, without trying to be flippant, I think it's, if you want to be innovative, there's going to be risks. Not everything is going to work. And I think you have to enter with that mindset that it doesn't mean let's hope for failure. We certainly want to hope for success, but not every innovation, not every idea will work. But you can't progress in this industry if failure is going to be the barrier. It's absolutely essential to overcome that and just move through it and find. So for example, even in the project delivery models right now that people are still working through in terms of, if we're not going to do design, bid, build, do we do design, build? Do we do, what should do we do? IFOAs, what do we do? Each of those has a risk, but each of those has success. And so it's really important to, when you pick that system, whatever that system is going to be, to understand there's a risk. But it's really important to also then to understand that you can't get the results that we're talking about in terms of getting scope, schedule, and budget, getting all three, unless you're willing to take a risk on an innovative approach and the innovation of your team members to in fact achieve them.
So changing gears a little bit, what are the biggest opportunities for innovation processes today? What do you think might be on the horizon?
There are, speaking only for the healthcare environment, because that's the environment I know, there are so many horizons which are right now, this are huge opportunities. Not surprisingly, of course, technology, but AI, of course, is the new major headline. But just I think there's just so many opportunities in the healthcare capital programs that are just ripe for innovation in today's world. And won't go into the detail of it. Everybody's trying to figure out where is the AI fit into all of this. And just to even walk down that road in terms of what people are thinking about right now in terms of actual procedures, patient care, diagnostics, it's incredible. So there's a huge area there. But moving more towards the design and construction side. So I think there's really a lot of thinking about, for example, what I call equipment to the curb. The huge firms that right now who are manufacturing equipment, are thinking, how do I bring that machine, that MRI, how do I bring that to your house? There's a tremendous amount of thinking going on right now about how to do that. And of course, why to do that. But the whole idea of access to healthcare right now is such a major issue when you talk about our population. And as that big bubble goes through, some of those people are not able to get to the healthcare. So how are we going to bring it to people? That's one. So the home health issue, which is already not an issue, but the home health initiative is certainly going to get a lot more development as we go on. And it's particularly back to AI and doing diagnostics through telemedicine, I think is going to be a huge future. Now, how will that affect our buildings? I don't think we know the answer to that right now. Will it mean more flexible space? Will it mean more spaces predominantly for tertiary quaternary care? I think there's a lot going on in that conversation, but there'll be a huge amount of opportunity. And then think about that now in terms of mechanical electrical systems. There's just constant work with our trade partners trying to figure out what's the what allows them to be the most efficient and the most effective in delivering the scope of work that they have to do. And back to that three-party, how do they get scope, budget, and schedule? How do you get all three?
Okay, last but not least, how might we accelerate innovation in the design and construction industry?
Thank you, Zig. That's a really an important question. And I don't know that I don't know that we know every answer around that. But for example, I think there's a lot that can be done locally. I think bringing more people around the table and talking about what they're doing and how do they do that together. So for example, can we bring more of our trades around the table together? Can we bring more of our organizations like some of all the different kind of organizations that are involved in the capital program. Can we bring some of those owners and leaders to the round table and have a real conversation about what are they seeing going on in the market? What are they seeing that they need? And but I think it's at a local level. I think if we're going to accelerate, I think it's much harder to go big immediately. I think it's really important to try to go local. And the more that we can get people to be willing to talk, I know they don't want to give away their trade secrets, but the more that they can talk about the problems that they're trying to solve, I think the more that we can get people to start thinking about how to solve those problems, and an opportunity then to accelerate innovation and solutions.
Great. This was fantastic insight into the owner's world of innovation and what it could be. And I really appreciate you taking your time and sharing it with us, Stuart. And I look forward to hearing what others have to say about your thoughts on innovation.
Thank you, Zig. Appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity.